There's one way in crypto to make the most money while trading. The possibilities of turning hundreds of dollars into tens of thousands of dollars or more exist in this one tiny part of the crypto ecosystem. But on the flip side, the possibilities of turning hundreds of thousands of dollars into $0 also exists. This crazy world is called leverage trading, and it certainly isn't for everyone. But as we face a huge influx of new investors into the space, it's important everyone understands what it is and how to use it so they don't get wrecked. Find out what it is today. Let's get it. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Every day I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money, then make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you ever do want to try your hand at leverage trading, which we'll talk about today, the best place to do it is ByBit. For a few more days, you can actually get up to a $500 deposit bonus. Just register a new account by visiting bybit.bitboy.live. Then go to the ByBit Rewards Hub and type in the promo code WIN500. That's WIN $500. But listen, leverage trading is not for everyone. Only those with a strong understanding of what they're getting into should try it. In this video, we're going to be telling you exactly what leverage trading is and why the potential for big gains and big losses exist with it, and then we're going to be showing you exactly what it looks like. But here's the first piece of advice I would give. Keep your leverage trading portfolio separate from the rest. So what exactly is this fancy leverage trading people talk about? This is a trading tool used for highly speculative moves in the market to maximize the amount of an asset you're holding. What separates this trading tool from others is that with leverage trading, you are able to borrow in many times, up to 100 times the amount of capital that you have, without having to pay back the full amount. So if you have $10,000, you can trade with $10,000 on normal exchanges. But with leverage trading, you could trade up to $1 million off of $10,000 if you use what is called 10x leverage. You can make all the profits off of that trade. This is why the returns from margin trading are exponential. It's the quickest way to turn $100 into $100,000. But just like most everything, there's a huge downside. If you were to have $10,000 in Bitcoin on a regular exchange and the price of Bitcoin were to drop 50%, a huge move, then you would still have $5,000 in BTC. But with leverage trading, you could have $10,000 worth of BTC in a trade, and if the market moves in a violent direction, the wrong way, you could lose it all. This is why leverage trading is known as a double-edged sword. You can gain the world or lose your entire portfolio within a few movements or moments. The amount of swing that you can handle is called your margin. It's the safe zone, if you will, for your trade. If an asset's movement goes out of that safe zone, you face what is called liquidation, where you lose all of the money you have in your trade. And if you use what's called cross margin, you could lose everything that's in your account. But with isolated margin, despite of what some fear mongers may tell you, you cannot lose more than you have in a trade. It's a big misconception, at least in crypto. Now, in the world of Forex, dangerous world to begin with, it's actually a little different. Sometimes brokers can come after people if they lose too much money with too high of leverage, but in crypto, that is not a thing. With leverage trading though, you can make one of two basic trades. You can choose to go long on Bitcoin, which means you believe the price will go up, or you can go short on Bitcoin, which means you believe the price will go down. In general, you never want to go against the market or you have a better chance to lose. What do I mean by that? Well, right now, we're in the midst of a huge bull market. You don't want to bet on Bitcoin going down. You want to wait until Bitcoin has a price drop and then long the market. When the price is rising, as we've seen recently, there can be no real way to tell where it stops. But you can rest assured if the price drops, it's going back up and higher. Inversely, in a cold bear winter, you don't want to long the market. You want to wait until prices rise and then short the market. The level to which you are executing leverage is determined by the amount you are borrowing. If you have 1 Bitcoin and borrow 2, it is called 2x leverage. If you have 1 Bitcoin and borrow 5, it's called 5x leverage. If you have 1 Bitcoin and borrow 100, then it's called 100x leverage trading. Now, I highly suggest not to ever use above 25x, but most people will even tell you 5 to 10x is pretty much the highest you go. But no matter what leverage you use, there's a way for you to minimize your losses and prevent liquidation 100% of the time. That is to use a stop loss. This will prevent you from going out of the safe zone of your trade. You basically set your stop loss to a level where if you lose the trade, you are comfortable with the amount that you lost. Basically, you risk some, but not ever all. Now, the amount of leverage you use will also determine the size of your safe zone. If you use 2x leverage, you will have a gigantic window of margin. If you use 100x leverage, you'll have almost no volatility to work with. This is why 100x is extremely risky, and I don't ever recommend it. I don't do it myself. Now that you understand what leverage trading is, let's take a look at ByBit to see exactly what it looks like. And of course, if you want to sign up, you can do so by visiting bybit.bitboy.live. Depending upon where you live, you may also need to use a VPN. Now, if you can't figure out how to use a VPN, then leverage trading may not be for you. So let's go ahead and check it out. All right, guys. So this is what you're looking at when you get on ByBit. Right now, I am on a VPN. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. I don't know the rhyme nor the reason. But let's take a look around a couple things. So when you look at your page setup here, at the top, it's just going to have some information. Now, you're going to be able to drag any of these areas around on your dashboard. So, like, let's say I wanted to move this down. I could just slide this down here and then move this back up. This is the way I have it set up. I look at my trades at the top for demonstration purposes. Here is obviously the chart. This right here is going to be active trades that you have, but there's other things you can click to look at other areas. We'll see in a second. Then, of course, you have your buy and sell order book. Then up here on the top right, you will basically be able to see this is the control board. Okay, that's what you're looking for. You're going to be able to control your margin, whether you want cross or isolated. You're going to be able to do limit orders, market orders. Limit orders you're going to be able to make out better on. You're going to get less fees. And then in the market orders, it's going to be more fees, but it's going to happen quicker. It's going to happen instantaneously. And then you're going to have conditional ones as well. So, okay, so let's look up here. So this is where you can see your positions, your active, conditional, filled, order history, mutual insurance, and risk limit. So here's some trades that I did yesterday or a couple days ago. Closed P&L. You guys can see on a long, I closed for a 0.54 BTC profit. Another one for 1.04 BTC, another for 0.27 BTC. Those were some good trades from the 16th. You guys can see right here. So when you come over here, you have a few options, like I said. So first thing I want to look at is cross margin or isolated margin. When you use cross margin, to me, I don't like it as much because it can start eating into the other money in your account that's not necessarily in this trade. And so I don't like to use cross margin. I'm always going to use isolated margin. That keeps each one of your individual trades your individual trade. So as you guys can see right here, it goes up to 100x. I never suggest trading with 100x. I would say put it somewhere between 5 and 10 is about useful. 25 is what I like to trade on because I'm a little more degenerate. I use, some stop losses and things like that. Now, with a limit order, you're going to be able to set your order price, right? So if it's at 17.79, like if you kind of look here at this chart, for instance, this is the 30-minute chart. You guys can kind of see, right, that you have like kind of a support line somewhere about right here. You have a resistance. This was a very clean resistance right here. So right now, what you're looking at is, the price could bounce down somewhere around 17,600 based on these two candles right here, giving us some nice support. So right now, I might want to set a long at 17,578, right where this line is, because there's a good chance that this is going to come down, bounce off of that line, and go back up. So that would be why you'd want to set a limit order. So you can basically set the price where if it goes down to this level, I want to catch a trade right here. And if you look kind of over here, you see this right here is basically along that same support line. So that 17,578, that's a pretty good number to be looking at right now. Market, personally, this is my personal preference. I don't mind paying fees. When I make money on trades, you guys can see, I make big money on trades. When I lose money in trades, I lose big money in trades. So I'm going to win a lot or I'm going to lose a lot. I don't really sweat a percent or whatever the fee is going to be. Sometimes it's a few percent. They're called maker and taker fees. So I tend to just want to do the market orders. When I'm ready to put a trade in, I'm ready to put the trade in right then because there's something I'm seeing I want to take advantage of. So right now, if I wanted to short the market, which as I said in the video, you don't want to go against the market, so I'm not going to do that, okay? But hypothetically, if I wanted to short the market from where it is right now to 17,578, then what I could do is come over here to isolated. Okay, so right now, when I put 25x, you guys can see when I hit 100%, it translates it into $1 million US, $1 million contracts. I don't want to go 100x. If I click on 50x, as you can see, it still is $1 million. It doesn't change if I click 50, 75, or 100. That's because I got a decent amount in this account. For most of you guys, that will change. I usually like to trade with 100% of my account. I don't have a problem doing that. And look, right as we're talking, look at it. Look at it. It just came down almost to that same level and bounce. Wow, absolutely extraordinary. Just what I said was going to happen. So anyways, once you got this set, now you have to decide whether you want to buy long or sell short. But what you really want to do is click one of these boxes because you want to set your stop loss in the beginning. So if we want to long it right now, because I was going to short it, but it just bounced off that line. So I'm going to click buy long. I'm going to click where I want to take my profit. Like I just look here and see this is like, let's say 17,900. So I'm going to say 17,900. Okay. And that guy set my stop loss. It's got these nice little figures here for you. So you can set your stop loss at 5, 15, 25% or 50% loss. Let's just do a small one. Let's set it at 5% loss and see what happens. And then you hit buy long and boom, here's my trade. Now I come over here, I click positions. It'll show you what your trade is. 1 million contracts. Okay. Shows my entry price. It shows my liquidation price. It shows my unrealized P&L right now is 900, 1,000. Let's see here. And then am I in profit? I'm not quite in profit yet, so I'm going to need to let that thing go up a little bit more. This right here will show you exactly how much money your trade is making. You guys can see how fast the money moves here. You guys see how fast the money moves? $337, negative $171. It just goes really fast one way or the other. So you just got to kind of stomach it. I mean, a second ago it was up $1,000. Now it's down $1,500. It just is what it is. So I've got my stop loss set. I've got my take profit set. We're just going to let this trade sit around for a while and see what happens. So that's basically all you need to know. That's how it works. But as you can see on these money swings, how violent they are, you can make a lot of money or you can lose a lot of money. So you guys want to try out ByBit, check out bybit.bitboy.live. And hey, let me know what you guys think about it. Drop a comment down below. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.